Movie review number 1420 is The 40-Year-Old Virgin. The 40-Year-Old Virgin is a 2005 movie that is directed by Judd Apatow, who also directed movies like Knocked Up and Trainwreck. So this movie is from Universal Pictures, and I saw this movie on August 22nd, 2025 at AMC West Chester 18 in West Chester, Ohio for the film's 20th anniversary. Wow. So this movie has Steve Carell in it, and he portrays electronics store stock boy Andy Siswell, who is horrified when he is found out by his workmates that he is a virgin. Just when he thought he was becoming one of the gang, David, Jay, and Cal surprise him by making it their mission to get Andy a girl and help him not become a virgin anymore, especially with the fact that Andy is 40 years old. Now, the movie kind of does have a message, and he does say why he is still a virgin, while his workmates are not. Of course, Andy has choices and decisions on why he is still a virgin, which I thought are pretty neat. And when he does finally meet a girl, it would be interesting to see what happens. Now, I will say that while his workmates try to help Andy, let's just say that their lives aren't exactly what they kind of make it out to be. Like in the beginning of the film, we hear them talking about their wives and the people that they have hung around with. But let's just say it may not be all that that is cracked up to be. And Andy, who is just wanting to look for a nice woman to date and maybe have a relationship with, he may get that chance when he meets a girl named Trish, and things might be changing for Andy. So what will happen to Andy and the fellas at the end of the movie? Will Andy no longer be a virgin? And what about the other worldmates? Yeah, this was a pretty good movie in my opinion. I have never seen this movie before, but I have heard about it for years. It is definitely a classic comedy movie. So this movie has Steve Carell as Andy Siswell in it. Catherine Pino portrays Trish Piedmont. She is the owner of a store that sells items on eBay, and she is the woman that Andy meets later on in the movie. Paul Wood portrays David. He is a love-worn, self-destructive character, and let's just say that he is one of the roadmates who tries to help Andy find someone. Womany Malco portrays Jay. He is a womanizer, and is right, maybe right, the probably the biggest freak of the film from Malco's point of view, and let's just say that he has stories about his past relationships that kind of define who he is in this film. We also see Seth Rogen as Cal. He is one of Andy's co-workers and tries to help Andy with his problem. Elizabeth Banks portrays Beth. She is a bookstore clerk who becomes intrigued with Andy at some point in the film. Leslie Mann portrays Nikki. She is a woman who has some interest in Andy as well. And Jane Lynch portrays Paula, who is David's boss. So the movie does focus on Andy and the fact that he never has have had a real relationship, and the guys are just trying to help him out. But he is shy, introverted. He has a bunch of toys in his house, action figures, stuff like that. and he doesn't exactly get out much. Well, his friends kind of give him a little taste of the outside world. Some of it good, some of it maybe not so much. And all Andy is wanting to do is just try to find a nice woman. Will that be Trish? And what about the other women that I mentioned? And what about the other guys? Because I mentioned that they talked about stories of their past relationships to Andy at the beginning of the film. Well, will that be different when we get to the end of the film? I won't spoil it, of course. But I thought it was a pretty good movie. It is definitely a classic comedy movie, and I've heard very good reviews about it. Still up to this day, it is definitely a classic. So you guys will like this movie. So that's my movie review of the 40-Year-Old Virgin Precinct 2 from this movie review. Alright, goodbye.